Hello. Welcome back to the Nightlist podcast with Sarah
and Sabrina. Season 2, episode 2.
Yeah.
2023.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
We're back today. We're coming at you on Super Bowl Sunday.
It's currently going on right now. The halftime show is happening as we speak.
In live time, Rihanna is
performing. I just now pulled up a live version on YouTube streamed, but you can't see any of it, so you could only hear a little bit of her performance. And it sounded good so far, but we're going to have to watch it back and report back about that.
Yeah. Also, this is coming in, this is being posted a week after the actual Super Bowl, probably.
So we'll eventually get to circle back.
Yeah, we'll get back
Rihanna.
to it.
Maybe.
So I believe this is like our first episode being pre-recorded.
I think so, yeah.
Because we have an episode in the works that's going to come out this week. And this week. It depends on when you're listening to this.
Yeah. This will come out right after. Wait, that's wrong.
Whatever, who cares?
Whatever.
So we do have a theme for this week. We're doing songs that we like a live version of better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited.
Me too.
I came up with this theme because I was so moved by a live version of a song. But let's just give a bit of a review of our week so far.
Okay, yeah.
So honestly, not much has happened for me, to be honest. But I will say it feels really good to be back in the studio again for the second time in a row. It's so, I think I've said this exact thing before, but it's so good to have a project.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like meditation in a way, all at once on Sunday evening.
I agree. And it's just nice to have once a week, we know where we're going to be, what we're going to be doing. We're talking about whatever we want to.
Yeah.
And we're listening to music that we like.
Honestly,
and so it's just good. And it's fun to have something creative like this where we make the rules for ourselves.
Yeah.
So it can really be whatever we want, and it's really fun.
And I'm all about making things, making art, whatever, but I don't like paint and sips. I've never been to one, but I don't like it because they tell you what to paint.
Paint and sips?
Yeah.
Oh, like the painting with the twist.
Yeah. Stuff like that. Group painting.
Yeah.
And then you all paint the same thing. I guess it's fun, but
it is much more limited.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's nice that we have a collaborative thing that's fun, and I don't know.
Well, honestly, this takes an extraordinary amount of creativity and drive.
Yeah.
Some people need the paint and sip. I'm just kidding. There's nothing wrong with paint and sips.
Yeah.
And it's fun to compare what you make to other people. But
yeah,
it's so good to have a creative outlet that's totally, limitless. I get it. I look at artists' art, like YouTube or YouTube artists, Instagram artists, whatever, and it's also great. And they all have such great feelings about the things that they make and the time they spend on being creative and making art. And this isn't that. This is that.
But yeah, it is different.
It's different, but it's being creative. And I think about William, my brother, and he talks about how good it feels to write jokes as a comedian and how much he loves performing them. And that's the same thing, and how it's therapeutic for him. And he was telling me the other week about how he uses comedy to make other people feel good too. I think I told you this, but I'll say it here. There was a really, really, really massive earthquake in Turkey and Syria, and he teaches English to a bunch of internationals, right, and tons of Turkish people. So he had people being really, really sad because it's like you could
that's devastating.
Coming into your class in LA and your mom died in Turkey,
right?
But somebody said to William, your class is really nice and you have a good vibe and you always make me laugh, and so I wanted to come into class today.
Aww.
And I thought that was so sweet. And then he talked about how in that class he was making jokes and how you could just see the emotion of this person change from really down and sad, which It's good to be, you
you
should be sad about that. But then just to see how being in a good environment.
But just to have a little bit of relief from it.
Mm-hmm. So.
Because things like that are so devastating that it's like, it can be very all-consuming.
Yeah.
So if regardless of what's going on, it feels good to have a break of like lightheartedness.
Yeah, and I thought it was nice how he was using what he loves to do, which is make jokes, make people laugh in a really beneficial way.
Yeah.
And I know all of our listeners feel that way about the podcast. I know you all sit down and listen to this and think, I just need to relax.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Shout out Jeannie and Katya.
Yeah, and I just want to thank my mom for commenting. Yeah. I inspire everybody who listens to comment. Say what you need to say.
Please
have a discourse.
And also, like the nature of our podcast, there are no rules.
No rules. Do whatever you want.
No rules.
Yeah.
Just please, maybe nothing offensive.
Maybe, unless it's funny.
I don't know.
Okay, well,
I'm not trying to get my feelings hurt by my mom.
Don't be mean to me, you know? All right. I don't have too much else to say.
Yeah. No, it's been a pretty chill week.
Yeah,
we went to a market today and saw a lot of cool stuff.
A couple dogs, couple kitties.
Yeah.
No complaints
Lots of
there.
Cool art.
Yeah. Did we buy anything?
No, we just bought coffee.
Well, here's the thing.
And sandwiches.
Okay, our coffee and sandwiches were really, really good.
Really good.
Here's the thing about this market, though. Everybody is making little earrings and resin ashtrays.
Yeah.
Everybody. I don't want that.
No.
Or they're selling an old T-shirt for too much money.
Yeah.
You know? Or they're selling like a cookie for $6.
Right.
I can't get behind that.
No.
And I don't want a resin ashtray, and I don't want an acrylic earring.
Yeah.
I have, we're like, it's so beautiful to be creative.
And we're like, stop making this art.
I know, it's bad.
Well, resin is a real complaint though, because it's literally destroying our environment. So please try to find something else to do. Yeah. Find another way to express yourself creatively that doesn't harm the earth.
Yeah, I saw
ideally
a lady who had a bunch of cardboard trash. She saved all of her cardboard trash, and then she soaked it and blended it and turned it into a paste, and then sculpted a tree onto a wire sculpture with it. And she was
cool.
like, I know it came from a tree, so I'm trying to get it back to its original form. And she had this totally awesome sculpture after.
That's beautiful.
Right? Very
That's
cool.
beautiful.
Yeah. But arguably, that's just going to be garbage, too. So,
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway. So should we get into our...
Yeah, we're bringing live music. Not live music. Music, it's recorded, but but not in a studio.
Yeah, and it's better than the studio. Whatever.
Yeah, we're stepping outside the studio today. Sarah's going first.
Yes.
Let's get into it.
So I brought Valerie by Amy Winehouse, her live on BBC in 2007.
Absolutely.
So we all know Amy Winehouse. All know and love her. She's I feel like such a common...
She's well known.
She's a legend.
An icon.
She's an icon.
Yeah.
And so she was born in England. Obviously, she's British. She was born in London. Also, one thing I didn't know about her until we watched the documentary was that she had an older brother named Alex, who's 4 years older than her. But I feel like, I don't know.
Did he play? Was he a player
he was actually,
in the show?
I don't know, but she got her first guitar because of him.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Isn't your Alex a rock star?
He plays in a band.
So yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to my brother Alex.
Well, maybe it's the same one.
Maybe
it's Amy Winehouse's brother. Who is your brother?
You know, who knows?
I don't.
Who knows?
Anyways.
Huh?
Are you Amy Winehouse?
I don't know.
Is this an
anyway,
autobiography?
Anyway, so she was born, her parents are Jewish, which is also something that I didn't know about her. But she said that she didn't have much of a connection to like the religion itself. She likes what it represents and like being together with family and stuff, but she was never super religious. And also, music runs in her family because her grandmother was a singer and her uncle was a jazz musician. So, and her grandmother was the one who like pushed her to go into a theater school when she was 9 and like get vocal training and be immersed in that.
Low level nepotism.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, and she started writing music at 14. She was immersed in the music scene after being signed to Simon Fuller's management in 2002. And shortly after, she became friends with producer Salam Remy, who was a big part of her whole entire career and someone she's super close to, or was super close to. She released her first album, Frank, in 2003, and Back to Black in 2006. And then her last album that was released, so she only had 3 albums. It was a compilation called Lioness Hidden Treasures in 2011, and it was a compilation over 2002 to 2011.
Okay.
And that was compiled by Mark Ronson, her family, and Salam Remy.
What year did she die?
2011.
Okay,
so,
got it.
Yeah, so she died in July of 2011, and then this was released in December of 2011.
Okay.
So it was just a bunch of unreleased music, tons and tons of vocals. It said that her family and Mark Ronson and Salam Remy all like sat down and listened to hours upon hours of her vocals. But yeah, I was telling Sabrina before this that there's so much about her that you can look into, so I didn't want to get into all of it. But we watched her documentary, Amy, pretty recently, and it was really good, and I feel like it gives you a better idea of how she was and just goes more in depth to her career. So I would highly recommend watching that.
Recommendation.
Yeah, so that's the recommendation. And yeah, here's the song.
Here we go.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. Since I come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like the dress. I want you to come on over, stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Did you have to go to jail? Put your house on up for sale? Did you get a good lawyer? I hope you didn't catch a tan. Hope you'll find the right man who'll fix it for you. Are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair, and are you busy? And did you have to pay that fine that you were dodging all the time? Are you still dizzy? 'Cause since I come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like the dress. Oh, won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Oh, why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie. sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. And I think of all the things what you're doing. And in my head I paint a picture. Since I come home, well, my body's been a mess. And I miss your ginger hair and the way you like the dress. Won't you come on over and stop making a fool out of me? Oh, why don't you come on over, Valerie?
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh my goodness.
Also, I noticed she's using the same microphones that we have.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
So I remember when we were watching the documentary, we were like, it's just crazy that this voice comes out of her.
Yeah, and I still feel that way.
Yeah.
And also watching this, it looks so easy.
Yeah.
What she's doing.
No, in this video, she's sitting on a couch.
Yeah.
She looks happy to be there. It doesn't look forced at all. Her brow isn't furrowed even.
Right. She was just like she was meant to do that.
Yeah.
That's what she was born to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's really fabulous.
Yeah, I don't know about all like the fame and all of that stuff that came with it because that didn't seem very, but natural to her. But what she was doing right there, just sitting and singing so beautifully, like,
yeah,
I don't know.
It would have been nice if she could have just done that, gotten her recognition, but it's like you can't not blow up and you can't not be exploited and you can't not have this heaviness of fame come onto you when it's like that. And she has such a character too, which people really liked.
Yeah. So, she's just so talented.
Yeah. It's always weird to look at this, and it was weird to watch the documentary as well because it's in such recent time.
Yeah.
She feels, as a young person, she feels like a historical figure.
She just feels, because, I mean, to be fair, like, she died when we were
10.
Yeah.
Ish.
10-ish. So, I mean, at that point, I wasn't really aware.
No.
I hadn't really gained awareness yet. So,
right. Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, no, it's just weird. This is like the episode where we were talking about historical things that are confusing, because she was famous at the same time that Taylor Swift was blowing up, that Lady Gaga was blowing up, like, but it feels so separate. And I think part of it does have to do with her sound and how she has like a jazz,
her style of music.
Yeah, definitely. She's very much like a jazz musician.
Right.
So I don't know. But
that's a really good example of the time thing that's confusing.
Yeah.
Like it's
crazy.
Weird. Like the iPhone came out in 2007 and she was,
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Yeah, but this song is actually a cover, so she didn't write this song.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, which makes more sense when you think about it. I don't know, but there were
like, who's Valerie?
Yeah. Exactly. And the backstory was very interesting. So it's a cover of a song by an English band called the Zootons. I should have listened to the other version in preparation, but I didn't.
I think we can play a second of it.
Okay. But the lead singer wrote this about a long distance relationship that he was in at the time with a makeup artist, an American makeup artist named Valerie Starr.
What a name.
Yeah. And he said in an interview that this song was like a postcard to her because they couldn't be together because she had 7 driving felonies and couldn't leave America.
Yeah.
And that's why in the song, she says, did you have to go to jail? And did you get a good lawyer?
Yeah.
It's because she was facing legal offenses at the time. But it was written kind of just like he was supposed to see her and the week before they were supposed to see each other again. This was all happening, and so he was just feeling lonely and missed his girlfriend, and
she's caught up in the law.
Yeah.
Interesting how that applies, though, to Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
You know, it makes sense that it's written by someone else. It makes sense that it's about her.
Yeah.
Or that she covered it, right?
Right. And her and Mark Ronson came up with the cover of that.
Okay.
So this is the original.
Yeah,
what if you could do SEO
I'm sorry, guys. I don't have YouTube Premium.
As YouTubers?
Anyway.
Okay, it's quite similar.
Good. It's good. Okay.
It's quite similar.
I like it.
Can we get halfway through to see what's going on?
Yeah.
Halfway through. It's quite similar. Just like a trumpet, choir.
Also, this video is him out of jail.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I'll say it. I like the Amy Winehouse version better.
Yeah, me too. And that's the whole point of this.
Yeah. It's being updated, getting better.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that it's about a girl who's going to jail and having, because they were DUIs. Maybe?
I think it was. I'm not sure.
Or just reckless driving.
Let me pull this up. She had a suspended license. It just says it was, I want to say, my 7th felony driving on a suspended license.
Felony?
So I'm speeding tickets.
Oh.
Speeding tickets.
Yeah.
And not paying her speeding ticket because she wanted to go against authority. Wow. Basically, but then
That's so deep.
But then she got arrested for it. So,
yeah, that's a really fabulous song. I mean, that's the natural. This live version is the natural song to pick for this.
Yeah. Also, just found this out. She was stuck in Florida while she was dealing with courts and lawyers.
That's a really good place to be stuck.
So,
that's so classic.
Yeah.
Right?
So yeah. That's
okay.
That's it.
So we brought really different songs.
Yeah.
But okay, so I brought "Stoned Again" live by King Krule, and I just think it's funny that we both brought British singers.
Yeah.
And this song is about obviously doing drugs.
Yeah.
Anyways, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
But so I looked up a bit of a background on King Krule. And so he was a really bad kid in school. Also, he eventually got switched into an art school where hopefully he was going to be a better kid, whatever. And then he was.
Right. Also, sorry to interrupt, but this song talks about how Valerie is ginger. King Krule is ginger.
Oh my gosh, the crossover. And then it said he was tested for mental health issues when he was a kid, and that really like ruined him, and he talks about it a lot in his songs, and I feel like that kind of whole vibe you can see in the music that he makes. So he was like really resentful to his upbringing. He had divorced parents. But so he released his first album, 6 Feet Beneath the Moon, on his 19th birthday.
That's crazy.
Which is really crazy. Which is also similar
to Amy Winehouse, because she was
really young as well.
Yeah, when her first album came out, I think she was born in 83, so she was 19, 20.
Wow, that's so weird. And also, they both have a basis in jazz music. King Krule dips into jazz all the time, and one of the reasons why I like him so much is because he brings a lot of saxophone. Yeah. And so just some of his genres, he had a long list of genres that he goes under, but some of the ones that really popped out to me were jazz fusion, post-punk, electronic, avant rock, and others. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
All right.
We're gonna slow it down a bit.
And this is recorded in black and white.
Yeah.
She's my sweet and sour, my lemon honey. I ran out of way home and I ran out of way home, right back to my mommy. Weren't allowed in the park, exiled, couldn't even do one, keep me uppy. The cars in my boat almost hit me in a hurry. The cars were just a sign of an uppy. Down in the dirt, I used to surf with my bucket from Kentucky. I had a scratch coat, I scratched so hard cause I'm feeling fucking lucky. Boy, I'm feeling so lucky. On my 10th birthday, got a puppy. Now I'm back in the park with the middle class yobs, trying to get lucky. I was little and small, weed smoke made me feel so yucky. Put it on my brain, born another fucking junkie, born another fucking skunk. God, apart, I was little and small. Stoned again, I'm stoned again, I'm high again, I'm low again, boy. Yeah, she's my sweet and sour, my lemon honey. I ran out of way home that night, ran out of way home, right back down in the heart. I used to beat you up, I used to beat me up.
Wow.
Did you feel something there?
Absolutely.
I felt something there.
Absolutely.
This to me is like, you imagine an artist, a painter, like furiously painting because they have something and they need to get it out. And it needs to be physical, and it needs to be real and on the canvas right now. Yeah. You know, that's what it feels like to me.
This feels like insanely cathartic.
Yes.
It feels
just thinking
insanely cathartic. Also, in this performance, the whole time he's like grabbing his head and just like it feels like in frustration and he's he like at one point just like threw his guitar off of him and was just like moving around, like you could just feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't even my favorite King Krule song.
Uh-huh.
I think my favorite is Underclass.
Yeah, I love that song. It's so good.
It's so good. But I don't know, I found the live version and it's so raw and you can hear the emotion so genuinely.
Yeah.
Then this is like not that Amy Winehouse video at all.
No,
She's sitting there.
It's completely opposite because she was so like she's still feeling the music just as much, but in a very, very different way.
Yeah. This feels like he's telling a story. You're feeling his feelings when he's talking about this. And I read in one of the interviews, song is kind of about, you know, the melodrama of growing up as a kid, you know, in kind of a weird situation. And he was talking about how when he was younger, he really liked to smoke weed. He felt so good doing it. And then over time, it started to feel really bad, but he did it anyways just because he was like a kid doing drugs.
Right.
And so he's talking about being born another fucking junkie. And, you know, I just think it's...
Yeah, that's crazy. Also, he did mention Kentucky, so we just got to shout out Kentucky real quick.
Shout out Kentucky.
And also shout out LA.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. I've been saying so many times in this podcast. I'm sorry. I found King Krule when I was 15 or 16. Somebody showed me Baby Blue.
Oh, such a good song.
And I remember thinking this is such a good song. And it's very different from this one. It's much more sleepy, and it still kind of has a sad vibe, but in a very different way, in a much sleepier, kind of in love kind of way.
And I personally, there's something I like about being able to hear an artist, like, when their frustration comes out in music. I don't know what it is, but it's
not polished.
Yeah, and
you know?
and it feels very. It just makes it easier to relate to, I think.
I agree.
Because I don't know. I don't get, like, I'm not frustrated all the time. Like, I don't get frustrated very easily. But that's my way of letting it out, is when I'm listening to music and when an artist does that, so I can feel it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really nice, and I really like it.
And that's something I like about King Krule's music in general. It's packed with emotion, all of it. And it feels
angsty.
It's very angsty, but it feels, you know, not too polished. Very much, he's like, this is what I need to make. And it's really, I think his music is art.
Yeah, I agree. And the way that you described it as when artists need to get frustration out and they need to paint right away, like, it feels the same way. It evokes the same feelings as when you see a painting that you can just tell, like,
there was a mess made of it.
Yeah.
And I was talking to someone about Death Grips, and I was like, this music, I don't like it. I understand, I hear the emotion, but I don't like the way it sounds.
Yeah.
And someone goes, I don't remember who I was talking to, but they said, I don't really like it either, but it is art. You know, they are just doing what they're doing. You know, they're not following any rules.
Right.
And I feel the same way about King Krule, but I think he executes it better.
Yeah, I don't know. I like how King Krule sounds, and I think I think it's a little bit more
aimed at being musical.
Yeah,
which is fine. You know, it's just art in a different way.
Right.
But
yeah,
all of his music is so good.
Yeah,
it's all really interesting. Some of it takes a couple listens to
and
understand.
This song I haven't really listened to before. I don't know. This just isn't one of the ones that I listen to of his, but this live version was everything. So good.
Yeah, and there's flashing lights and
it's black and white, like I said.
Yeah. I love his voice too. It's so deep, and in his interviews it's the same way, and he's like a skinny, tall, redheaded, totally English dude.
Yeah. Yeah, very very parallel to Yellow Days, who we talked about a while ago.
Yeah. All right, so that was the music. I'm going to put in my recommendation now as listen to King Krule I think his album 6 Feet Beneath the Moon is a little bit more consumable. I think if you're going to listen to King Krule, start there.
Yeah.
But his album art is really cool too. I love Man Alive, that album art and the album itself.
And also The Ooze.
The Ooze, that's what this song is off of. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. So
I think it's really special music.
Yeah, I agree. And
I think it's very, very good. And I love anything with a saxophone in it. I love.
Oh, so good. Yeah, he's really just his name is, what's his name? Archie Marshall. Archie.
He has a baby.
No way.
Yeah, a daughter.
How old is he?
28 or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah. So that's it for the music portion.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to bring up something totally random.
Okay.
I thought of this when I was driving the other day, and I've thought about this quite a few times before, but it makes me feel some type of way when people get out of the way for an ambulance on the road.
What do you mean? Like it's so, like, awe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, look at humans working together?
I think it makes me in awe, literally.
Yeah.
It's just this feeling of, like, communal, human feeling, yes, go save that person, let me get out of my way.
It's also illegal to not do that.
Okay, and it should be. But it's like...
Yeah.
It should be illegal, and you should want to get out of the way.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I understand that. That's also how... Have you ever been on I-4 when there's so much traffic and there's a cop trying to get to something, and then everyone collectively is like shifting or like making a way for that car to get where they need to be?
It just feels... Something about that feels good to me.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the concept of a soul train?
No.
It's when a train gets in the way of an ambulance. You know, a train is just going. You can't really just stop a train on its tracks, right? And if an ambulance gets in the way of an ambulance, people think that it means that this ambulance shouldn't get to wherever it's going, and this person needs to pass on to the next life. And this train is kind of put there to...
That's crazy.
To make that happen.
Because I've heard the phrase soul train before, but I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah, it could have been used in a different context as well.
But I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's like the opposite of what I was talking about, though, of people getting out of the way for a train.
Yeah.
But I have a similar thing that I think about, which is, you know, when you go to the beach for the sunset and... You know, there's the point where everybody kind of gets quiet and they just stand there and they look at the sun setting.
Yeah.
Doesn't that make you feel good?
Yeah.
Everyone is just like, okay, put out your cigarette.
Yeah.
Hey, kids, stop fighting.
Hey.
Look.
Just look at the sun for a minute.
And it's just the sun going down, and it happens every day, and people gather to see it.
And everyone's just...
peaceful.
Dude, I have said this so many times, and I will continue to say it all the time. I am so mad that our eyes haven't evolved to the point where we can stare at the sun.
I know. Can we just look at the sun, please?
Because I want to stare at it for like 20 minutes straight.
Yeah. Can't though.
Can't.
Nope. Blind.
No. Yeah.
Cancer. Blind.
Yeah. I wonder how long it would take. Let me look up how long it'll take to go blind from looking at the sun.
Why don't we just run our own experiment?
That's true.
Yeah. But I don't...
We could do that.
That feeling of... It's so human, too.
Oh my God, it's under 2 minutes.
No way.
Permanent retinal damage can occur when someone looks at the sun for 100 seconds or less.
We need to stop doing that.
That's crazy, because I think I've like maybe pushed it a little bit.
You know what? And that's why you're blind.
That's why I was born blind.
Yeah.
I wasn't born blind. Sorry. That's not something... That's an exaggeration. I'm like half blind.
It's pretty blind.
Blind in...
Are you legally blind?
Legally blind in my left eye.
Wow.
So... But my other eye's fine. So it's... I don't... Like, it's not a disability for me because the other one works. So
It's fixable by glasses.
my left eye?
Well, I mean, you can see through it with the aid of glasses.
Yeah. I mean, I can see through it without glasses, but it's
Clearly.
still even with my contacts, it's still really bad, and if it was like that in both eyes, I probably wouldn't be able to drive.
Comment down below if you're
I
legally
definitely
blind.
wouldn't be able to drive, actually. That's like fully a thing I would not be able to do.
Wow, that would be, now that's disabling. As a person
Yeah.
in Orlando,
Yeah.
yeah. But continue, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, also today when we were driving, I was thinking about how good it feels to drive. I love driving.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's good to drive.
And
Power.
I just love how it feels, and I always have.
Okay, well, don't look at the sun anymore so you can continue doing that.
Yeah.
But another thing I was thinking about sunsets,
Mm-hmm.
you know, okay, so everybody, all the animals of the planet, all the humans of the planet go to the coast and just watch the sun set. And I can
Yeah.
imagine like the same thing happening on a distant planet, you know? You imagine the animals of whatever other planet walking to the coast to watch the sunset,
That would be,
right? And then I was
that's
thinking,
an awesome thought.
right? And the sunset is, you can't argue that it's beautiful,
Right.
right?
Right.
The mixture of colors that we get from the sunset, the way the sun shines. And I was thinking, you know, nature really, nobody is looking at nature and thinking that's yucky.
It depends
Well-
on, it depends.
You think about the sunset, a forest, a swamp, a river. People just like that.
Mud?
Sometimes the
Yucky.
color of mud is like really good. And then I was thinking, so if on an alien planet you have intelligent life, right? And they have they're looking at a different star that is their sun, and they have a completely different atmosphere. Their chemical makeup is totally different, and the sun sets differently. The photons coming from their sun hit whatever is in their atmosphere differently, and it looks totally different. And it could be a horribly ugly scene to us, but to them that's beautiful.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
do
it's
know what
just
you mean.
being in awe of the things that are naturally happening that we can't change.
And you know what's crazy is that it happens every single day, but I still every time
Yeah.
every time I see a sunset, I'm like, wow.
Yeah. You know
That's
what's great
good.
too?
Huh.
The sunrise.
I was just gonna bring this up.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask if you've seen the sunrise recently.
In the past couple months.
Have you seen the sunrise on the beach?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Like here?
No, not here.
Oh, okay.
I've seen it. Not the actual sunrise. The peripheral of the sunrise on the other coast. We should go.
Yeah, we should do that because it's so nice. I've done it, I think, only once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've only done it once while we've lived here.
It's an honest drive.
Yeah, and it's a big commitment because you either wake up so early or you stay out all night and stay till the sunset, which is what we did because we're like, we'll just make a whole thing of it, like whatever. It was one of the most serene things I have ever experienced.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful, and there weren't many people because I feel like sunsets, they can be kind of crowded at times.
Yeah.
But it was like there were just birds flying over like so peacefully, flying over the ocean, and there were just a couple people walking on the beach, and we were just sitting there on blankets and like just sitting and watching the sunrise, and it was so like calming.
Yeah.
And it was so quiet too because it was so early in the morning that nothing had really started yet.
Yeah, that's
Not many
beautiful.
people's days had started yet, so it was very, very calm. And yeah, it was just gorgeous. We should do that
Yeah.
because it was a really good experience.
Yeah, there's a huge difference between you go to the sunset and then you go to dinner, let's say.
Yeah.
That's a whole different thing. Then you got to wake back up for dinner, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you go to the sunrise and then you go get breakfast, and it's you just easing into breakfast, and you're outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the sunrise.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's really good. And it's crazy because we could, like, watch both on each coast if we wanted to.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of a peninsula.
Yeah. So, shout out Florida, too.
Yeah, huge shout out to Florida. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Kind of along with this, I was thinking about, you know how almost every culture has their cultural dance?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we think about Boris going to do his Bulgarian dancing nearly every week.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing kind of in the same realm that I just love. This communal feeling. We're all going to get together and do this.
Yeah.
And it's physical.
Yeah.
And we just appreciate this, and it's historical.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's so interesting to me that just the fact that we arguably live in a very individualized country.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
we're very, I don't know, we're not communal at all.
Yeah.
At all. Like, everyone is very...
I mean, we don't even have, like, a town square, you know?
Right. America is very independent, which, like, has its upsides, but I think humans are naturally meant to have communal things like that.
Definitely.
And
definitely.
It's just crazy how far off we've gone.
Yeah. So this makes me think of, it's weird how TikTok has such a strong theme of dancing, right?
Yeah.
I want to learn the dance that they're doing. It's fun, and then we can dance together.
Yeah.
And I can clip and I can stitch their video and we can dance together. It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Happening again in a really, really twisted way.
In a weird way.
Right? And
Yeah.
so it's definitely a thing that that humans want to be in a community, but the thing is, we only have the capacity to be close with, 10 people, and like we only want to be around like 150 people max.
Yeah.
Which is not happening. We are so far beyond that.
Yeah.
And so you wonder what the implications of that are, and you wonder if, so historically, you danced in the town square with all the other Bulgarians, right? And there were, 20 of you dancing in a circle, right? And now it's like we have so many people around us, we can't,
It's like
imagine,
we're being spread too thin in a way.
Yeah, and it's like you can't imagine, you can't get in a circle and dance with everyone, not everyone's showing up. You gotta dance with somebody in Japan through TikTok.
Yeah.
It's weird, and it's interesting, and it's a really, really weird way that nature is prevailing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never thought about that with the TikTok dances.
Neither have I. This came across with me. But yeah, I don't know. Dancing. And I like dancing too because you don't have to talk.
Yeah.
The oldest person can dance with the youngest person, and you both know what you're doing. You both understand that you're connecting.
Yeah. And I think that with with cultural dances, it's kind of outlined, you know what I mean? Like there's like a set way or like choreographed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it also feels nice to have to dance with people who know what you know too.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a really fun, cute thing that humans do together, and I think it's really important to have a sense of community and I don't know. I also think that it's just a sense, community is simply a sense of support too.
It's support, and it's these people understand me, and we go through the same things, and we're connected.
Yeah.
And if I need help, they'll help me.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like community is a way to have relationships that aren't heavy.
Yeah. Really light. I talked about this last week about how I feel so happy knowing people in school. And I think it's because it's like I have a sense of community now. Because before, I mean, we go to the most populated school in the States, right? And before I was just like swimming around these people and whatever. And then I made some friends, and now I work at the school, so I have friends in that too. And it feels so good. It feels so good to run into people that I know around and just exchange pleasantries, you know?
Honestly, I haven't really had that very much. I've created community within my friends, I think, but
which is good too.
But not necessarily in my classes, and especially now the one class that I'm taking, it's not just my major, it's all of the majors within like our college. So like I went in and I was like, I know literally no one in here.
Not a good feeling.
No, it wasn't.
Not a good feeling. And you can't force it either in this situation, right?
Yeah.
Sarah Yadvin, talk about her every time. Bring her up. Shout out Sarah. I don't think she listens enough to know that I shout her out every episode.
That's okay.
That's okay. We love you.
Yeah, we love her anyway.
She sent me a really interesting video of this woman talking about how you need a third place. So your first two places are home and work or school. And home is, I mean, for us, it feels like a social place, right? Because I'm with, 3 of my friends, right?
Yeah.
But then school is definitely a social place, but there's also this whole other thing going on of learning, paying attention, working, whatever.
And like obligations.
And this person was talking about how church used to be that for other people. It's a third place outside of work, outside of home, where you have a sense of community and where you can be around people in a really relaxed setting.
Yeah.
And it was talking about, the mental health benefits of having a third place.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really true.
Yeah. I was gonna bring up with community and stuff. I think that's a big part of
church.
Like people's religion. And I know that religion and spirituality is a very individualized thing as well, but there's still a strong sense of community within the church that you go to.
Yeah.
So
especially, all people in the same denomination
or like temple or wherever you go.
Yeah. You're all under this roof of we all believe the same things, but then in your own church, it's like we believe the same things, but we're even told it by the same person, by the same preacher. So it's just, it's a great place to have a community.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing by any means. But they were talking in this video about how people just go to church less.
Yeah.
And maybe this is our third place.
Maybe this is our third place.
It is.
It's just a small community of us
and Mikey.
And Spiky. But
I'm watching YouTube.
We're talking about how this is our community.
This is our safe space.
This is our safe space. It is a safe space in here.
Totally. Yeah. Okay, moving along. Are you afraid of anything?
Girl. that's
Well, let's start superficially.
Cockroaches.
I was going to say spiders.
Hate them.
I'm afraid of spiders.
Spiders are okay as
I can do a little
spider.
Size. I can do a little spider, but a big spider?
I don't know. I'm not really.
Like a tarantula?
I don't feel like repulsed by it, which I feel like a lot of people do.
I definitely do.
I don't.
But
I would
you
hold
do?
one. I would hold a tarantula.
Ew.
I would hold a tarantula.
I don't know if I could.
I so could. I think I have.
No.
I've also held a scorpion.
That's pretty cool. I think, no, I don't want to hold any of those things. I hate it. The fact that it can crawl up my arm and into my mouth.
But it's not going to.
Why not?
Because you can stop it before it gets to your mouth.
I would have a freak out.
Oh my God, I knew someone in high school who a lizard crawled into her ear.
What's their
and
first
that
and last name?
Freaked me out. I'm not gonna name drop.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not gonna name drop because I don't know.
That's horrible.
Yeah,
lizards, I can't do it
isn't
either.
Isn't that awful?
It's horrible. I wish I could. I really can't.
I don't mind lizards but
cockroaches
I don't
is your
like 'em.
worst.
Cockroaches is so bad.
Sometimes
Have
they
you
fly.
ever? Yeah, those palmetto bugs.
Those palmetto bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll fly right at you.
I hate that.
Out of nowhere, too. It's so awful.
Behind you.
It's so awful. No, honestly, because when we were watching The Craft, we watched The Craft last night.
Oh, we should talk about that. But anyways.
Yeah. When the worst part, because she was like, there's a scene where there are all of these snakes, bugs, whatever. The worst part was when the cockroaches started crawling out from under her clothes.
Oh my God.
That part, I literally couldn't look at it. The rest of it, I was fine with.
Ew. The whole thing was terrible for me.
The snakes,
maggots.
Fine. Maggots are gross, but like,
fine.
No, when the cockroaches were crawling out from under her clothes, I was like, I can't.
That's horrible.
I can't.
Yeah. Anyways, The Craft is a great movie. Another recommendation, you can go watch The Craft. It's from the 90s. My mom showed it to me. And it's about these 3 witches in a high school in LA, and then this 4th girl comes and they need her.
And her name is Sarah.
Her name is Sarah, and it's basically Sarah.
Yeah.
And they need her because she's a natural witch, whatever.
Yeah.
They use their powers.
And she has like the good and whatever.
Yeah.
She has the good intentions.
Right. But everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
But it's a really great movie. Good aesthetic.
Yeah.
I love
the outfits.
I love the evil character.
Yeah.
The evil witch. She's awesome. And then she ends up in a, well, I won't spoil it.
Yeah.
Really good movie.
Yeah.
And it's about witches.
And just the whole, I love spiritual things.
It's so fun.
It's so cool and interesting and, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so.
some more phobias, though.
Yeah. Are you scared of like the deep ocean?
Not actively.
Yeah, me
I'm
neither.
not there.
I know, but there's a whole phobia about it. Thalassophobia or whatever.
I'm just not afraid of that because it's not happening for me.
Oh my God. I just found out about this beach in Portugal.
Okay.
With like crazy waves. I forget what it's called.
Is it Nazaré?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's really known for surfing. I've been there.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go. But because these waves are massive. And that's why it's a big surf spot because like people, oh my God.
Yeah.
That is so cool to me.
Yeah.
Everyone was saying someone did die there recently though.
Well,
which is sad.
No risk, no reward.
But
yeah, I've been there.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go.
I was in like the off season. It wasn't
actively
popping or anything, but
I think it's so cool, and I don't think I have a fear of the deep ocean.
I don't really think so either. I don't know.
Or waves like this because listen, I'm not gonna go surf that, so I have no reason to be afraid of it, and it's so cool.
I can just be in awe of it.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
So also
sure.
recommendation: look up Nazaré,
Portugal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that you brought that up.
Yeah, because I saw a video of these waves, and I was like, this is such a fascinating like natural phenomenon.
Yeah. Well, it's
so
all of
cool.
Portugal is extremely windy, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, here's a picture of when I was there. The waves were not. It was nothing. I mean, this was from
Very tame.
a 50-foot cliff still. So
That's so cool.
yeah, it was really great.
That's so cool.
I was there with my whole nuclear family. See, the water was completely still. But
yeah, this website is calling it the most dangerous surf destination in the world. But but it's really, really awesome.
Yeah, but I'm not afraid of the ocean.
Yeah, me neither. Because it's just so cool to me.
It's really cool. It's just happening in the world. It has nothing to do with me, honestly.
I mean, I feel like I have a connection.
Like, yes, I'm a mermaid. But
yeah, no, I don't know. I also we were talking about careers earlier, but for the longest time I wanted to be a marine biologist.
Oh, that's a good one.
That was, I know a lot of people wanted to be that as a kid, but I I just think it's so, like, I don't see that and I'm like, that
Let me
is
in. Let me in.
awesome. I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
I don't need to go in because I know how dangerous that is and how powerful the ocean can be, but it's
Right.
so cool that it can be that powerful.
Well, it's like a whole, it's kind of like we were talking about earlier, where it's a natural phenomenon. It's awesome. People want to see it. It's just interesting, and it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening
Yeah.
without any of our input.
Yeah.
I think that's
It's
part of the
so
beauty of
cool.
it. That's part of the beauty of it is we can't control that at all, and it's just happening, and we may as well, take it in.
Yeah. Anyway,
Maybe
back to
I'm not like afraid of things. I feel, except for bugs and snakes.
yeah, I'm
like
afraid
murderers.
I'm afraid of cockroaches and like dying.
Yeah, right. But I'm not. I'm more afraid of, being dissatisfied in my life.
Yeah.
I'm more afraid of people
when
hating me.
When you asked, like,
You could go two different ways.
in what way? Because I'm not afraid
of things.
Yeah, but I do have really bad anxiety. So
Yeah.
I momentarily will be afraid of things, but when I'm not in that space, I don't really care. Like,
Yeah. So my biggest source of anxiety is, what if I don't work hard enough, or I don't work for the right thing, and I end up somewhere that I'm miserable.
Yeah. I used to get scared about that a lot.
You don't
But-
anymore.
Not as well. For me, it wasn't that I'm not working hard enough and I don't get to the right place. It was that I won't experience enough of life that I want to.
That's a really good
And
one.
I felt that as a kid. I talked about this in the podcast that we're gonna upload next, so I'm gonna be repeating myself. But I don't know. I was just very, very scared that I would like just not experience enough and be really dissatisfied with my life.
Yeah.
But now I don't feel that way as much because one, I feel like my life is much more fulfilling now than it was when I was younger. I don't know. I just feel much more connected to the people around me, I guess. So I feel like I have much more, like, I don't know, just more good experiences, so I don't feel like I'm missing out on that anymore.
Right.
So I don't really worry about it.
Yeah, I think a good way to deal with that is you need to find out what's going to fulfill you.
Yeah.
It's not what a book is going to tell you is going to fulfill you.
Right.
It's not what social media is going to tell you is going to fulfill you.
No.
Maybe I've talked about this, but I read somewhere someone was getting FOMO from not going out to the clubs, and then she was like, I don't even like doing that. I don't care. And that's really freeing. And so it's all about like finding out what's going to fulfill you, and it's not going to be what's going to fulfill the next person. And if you can find someone that'll go along with you, it's even better, right?
Right. And I think that was one thing that, like social media can be very, very harmful. And that was the worst part of it for me. I didn't really care about like I didn't look at it from a vanity perspective. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like there was a little bit of that, but it was mostly just that I saw other people experiencing things with people, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just looked like they were having more fun in their daily life, and I wasn't feeling that, but now I do.
Yeah.
So
yeah, perspective.
yeah, and also it is just knowing yourself more and knowing what you need.
Yeah, for
So.
sure. Also, it's important to know that what you need isn't what other people need.
Exactly.
I have felt before where I'm like, why don't you want to come go on a walk with me?
Yeah.
It's never been you who doesn't want to come go on a walk
right,
with me.
because I love going on walks.
Or I've been, why don't you want this in your life? Why don't you want what I'm working for?
yeah.
You know? And people just don't. People just want different things.
And people are so different.
people are so different. I feel like we have a
Yeah.
lot of crossover.
Yeah, we do.
I just want to go on walks and make this podcast.
Yeah, and me too. So, yeah, no, I think that is something that you learn as you get older, because it's, I don't know, it's so easy to look at what you enjoy and what fulfills you and not see why, like, just like, why?
How could it not be fulfilling to you as well?
Yeah, and how could someone not want to do this and not want to, but
I know, why isn't everybody making a podcast? It feels so
Right.
good, and it's so fun, and it's so inconsequential.
yeah, but everyone's different and they want different things out of life.
Yeah.
And I was listening to another podcast and they were talking, like, one of the podcast hosts, his sister had just had a baby, and he was talking about how she said that she was like, she felt like she was born, like, destined to be a mother. And I don't feel that.
No.
I don't, like, not that I don't, you know what I mean? Not that it's completely off the table for me, but I'm not one of those people who has felt like I need to, like, have a kid and raise them and be a mother.
Yeah.
I've never felt that need.
Yeah.
And so to somebody who feels that, they're like, why would you not want to have a kid and feel this love and
Takes
whatever?
all kinds, right?
Yeah.
My dad has said to me many times before, probably when I've been complaining about people, right? He goes, I remember when I was getting my master's degree, and he's like, I had to do a lot of group work, projects with all kinds of people, and he remembers really, maybe this was in his job, I don't know, really butting heads with people, and there was a power struggle, and people wanted to do this and that, and eventually it found out that some people just had to do different things.
Yeah.
Not everybody could do the same thing.
Yeah.
It was going to turn out best if this person designed the project and the next person put it into work and the third person did the math and this and that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good lesson. It takes all kinds.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, I don't know, especially with group work and stuff, you just have to make sure that you have the common goal.
Yeah.
Like, however you need to get there with the people that you have, it's going to be different every time. I've done so many group things in my college career.
Yeah.
And it's different every time.
Yeah. I don't love group things because I am the person that wants to run the show.
Yeah.
Sure. And like when I find the other person that's like that, it's really frustrating. But
because you're like, let me.
I know. But I have to get better about things like that. But it's also just part of me. And and another thing, that's
and also personalities like that are always needed.
Takes all kinds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another reason why I've really liked being a TA. I get to have so much power. They come and they ask me the questions and I have the answers.
Yeah.
And I show them what to do and it feels so good.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Just
I don't know. I don't think I'm like that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I like making sure that everything is right. I'm more so like, I like someone to like start, like, like be a little bit more of like the leader of it, but then I like to go in and like fix all the details and make sure that everything, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm definitely not
way.
the detail person.
No, I am.
Yeah.
I am, because if the formatting of whatever is
seen
off,
you do this.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating because why not make it whatever? I just am very, I don't know.
And I'm
very detail oriented when it comes to work.
Not I. I think I'm the same way as my dad because he told me, he's like, I'm the guy, I just want to get the general idea out there, kind of like, get it put together, and somebody else can do all the fine tuning. And that's kind of how I feel. I don't want to do the fine tuning.
I feel the opposite.
And that's why we're perfect
That's crazy.
podcast co-hosts.
Yeah. Yep.
Not that we're doing much fine tuning here.
Yeah. So kind of useless.
Yeah. Good thing this is useless.
So I'm useless.
No, it takes all kinds.
Okay. Portugal is so beautiful.
I know.
Wow. I still just have pictures of this beach up,
Yeah,
and it's just,
let's go.
It's just so beautiful. But yeah, I think, also a big fear is just like losing the people around me. Pretty relatable one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it hasn't happened to me yet.
Yeah, I haven't had a big one.
And,
that'd be really bad.
Yeah, that would be awful.
It will be.
Yeah.
That's part of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Death is such a part of life.
Yeah. We talked about death and
we did, yeah.
So in the one that's coming out before this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we already covered death for the most part.
Yeah, we pretty much covered death.
I
don't really
But yeah,
think
do you
I
have any other fears?
No. I'm like statistically fearless.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Murderers.
I have a lot of
Sometimes
But I
I'll
don't
be like,
feel
what if I get
threatened.
murdered for a week and then it's fine?
I don't really feel that.
Well,
I don't think it's gonna be me. You know what I mean?
Nobody ever thinks it's gonna be them, Sarah. You know what I mean?
But I don't know. I just feel like that wouldn't.
After the Idaho thing, just recently, I was on edge for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Because it could be me. I feel like we live in a pretty safe neighborhood, though.
I don't know. I'm never afraid of people breaking into my house.
That was kind of one of my biggest fears growing up.
No. I used to have dreams about it all the time, though.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not, like, in my non-dream state, I'm not scared of that at all.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think it's gonna, I don't know.
Yeah.
I also, like, we used to just, like, obviously my family would lock the doors at night, but all day they'd be open, and it wasn't really
No, we were a big lock the door household.
no, we weren't.
Okay, I do have another thing to say.
Yeah.
The music that we listen to now is going to sound so old in the future. Maybe we've talked about this, but I was thinking about how it's going to be different from how old music from our parents' generation sounds old.
Yeah.
Because there's so much variation now. Mm-hmm. Not that there wasn't back in the day, but there was a hell of a lot less. There's so much music being made every day, all the time now. And so instead of having this whole kind of list of music that was from our parents' generation, yeah, there'll be like the top hits of our generation, but I'm gonna have my own.
But that's not what I'm listening to.
No, I'm gonna have my whole own thing that my kids are gonna be like, oh, this is what my parents listen to. Not that.
Yeah. Well,
We're like, I'm not having kids, and then my kids are gonna listen to this.
but
And it's gonna be totally different, and we don't know what that looks like yet.
yeah.
Even up through. Even I feel like millennials still kind of have a more, this is what they were listening
Unified?
to thing. I don't know if that's true.
I don't know because my siblings who are millennials all kind of listen to similar things, but also they're all siblings.
That's true. But I feel like the radio, you had to listen to the radio. And the songs that were on the radio were what you listened to.
Well, not as much for millennials.
When do you think that ended?
I don't know.
2007.
Maybe with the iPhone.
Yeah.
No, but my because burning CDs was a big thing.
That's true, but it's kind of, I feel like it was with the music, that was just putting together the music from the radio into a CD. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. This is gonna make us sound like so
dumb.
like baby.
We are baby.
We are baby. Anyway, yeah, no, I think also music was not nearly as accessible as it is now.
Not at all.
Like, if we wanted to, we could start putting out music, put it on TikTok
Right now.
and get discovered through that.
Yeah.
That was not at all a thing.
Nope.
Back when our
it was all physical.
yeah.
Literally, all of it was physical.
And also
And discovering new music is so easy now.
yeah, because our parents, they were all listening to the same couple radio stations that were local to them that were all playing the same thing. So it was much more unified than it is now. Now it's so dispersed.
Right? And, back in the day, you and your friends collectively had 10 records, and that's what you listened to. Mm-hmm. I found out that they put plays on records.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Or comedy shows and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Anyways, I think that's it.
It's kind of like podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we should print this on a record.
Also, I will say, I kind of had a little bit of that kind of experience in high school of me and my friends, because one of my best friends in high school, she only had 2 CDs in her car, And I don't know if I don't remember if it was that she didn't have like a Bluetooth thing, or if sometimes it didn't work, or if she just sometimes didn't want to use it. But we would listen to 2 CDs. One of them was Rod Wave's first mixtape.
Okay.
You can't find it anywhere, I don't think.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't even remember what it was called.
Very elusive.
Hunger Games. Yeah, it might be on SoundCloud.
What was the other one?
Hunger Games. Hold on. Yeah, okay. You can listen to it, but I don't remember. There was Heartbreak Hotel, Think Too Much. Okay, yeah. Oh, I didn't mean to play it, but yeah, she was given this by Rod Wave in a mall.
Awesome.
Yeah. So there was that, and then American Teen by Khalid.
Mm-hmm.
And those were the 2. Mm-hmm. And like our whole friend group like knew all the words to all of those songs and would like, it was super cute. Just like a little,
I think a
little taste of that,
Yeah, exactly. The only time I've listened to a CD in the car is probably once when I was being driven home by someone in high school and they were playing a mixtape by somebody who had just given it to them, and it was terrible. Hilariously terrible.
Yeah.
And then the other one is I was good friends with an ex-girlfriend of my brother, and we would drive around, and she was like, so I have this CD, it's just farm animal sounds. And so we'd listen to that. Well, it's not like we would listen to that, it's like we listened to that once. Yeah.
That sounds exactly like her.
Right? She's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I think that's it.
I think that's it. We're babies, and that's it.
I was trying to think of another animal sound, but I can't. So that's all. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Mikey fell asleep.
I'm not kidding. Shake him. Can you turn off the recording?